everyone, I am Natasha Aini binti Nur Zairi, and together with my partner Nurul Nabiha binti Nur Hisham, we are from HM2413C. We'll be presenting on our video critic assessment for the subject ELC 560, English for Professional Interaction, which we will be discussing on the critical incident from the movie entitled My Salinger Year that was released in 2020. Okay, now we're moving on to the context of the presentation. First, we will explaining on the synopsis of the movie and the video excerpt that we have chosen. Then we will be discussing on the negative critical incident and followed by positive critical incidents. For both parts, we will give an overview of the critical incident based on the description, analysis, theory, effects, and recommendation to resolve the issues. Lastly, is the conclusion in which we will be conclude based on the professional interaction shown in the movie. My Salinger Year, also known as My New York Year, is a 2020 drama film and directed by Phil Felleder, based upon a memoir of the same name by Joanna Rakoff. It stars Margaret Qualley, Sigourney Weaver, Dallas Booth, Sienna Kuslak, Comfior, and Brian F. O'Brien. Joanna is employed as Margaret's assistant after leaving out of graduate school to focus on her writing career. Margaret is J.D. Salinger's toy and traditional literary agent. However, because Joanna was employed as assistant rather than a writer, Margaret did not permit her to write any stories. She split her time between a luxurious wood panel office where dictaphone and typewriter still rules, and agent dose of 3 martini lunches and a Brooklyn apartment without a sink, where she spent her night with her social lover, fluctuating between poverty and grandeur.
Joanna's primary responsibility is sorting through the copious amount of fan mail addressed to Salinger, but as she reads the movie notes from all over the world, she finds herself reluctant to send the impersonal standard letter from the company and instead begins hastily personalizing the replies. To ensure that Salinger's fans are not given false hope, Joanna must write them a letter. The consequences are both amusing and touching as Joanna starts to find her own voice while still using that of the great writer. The short tale Hardwork 1924, which had previously been published in the New York, was Salinger's idea to publish during her time at the agency. Carl, her ex-boyfriend, is giving a performance in Washington, so she goes there to assist coordinate with the little publisher and attend a meeting between Salinger and the publisher. Joanna begins to gain Margaret's trust, and the two of them allow her to read several articles and manuscripts. The invitation to Don and Joanna's boyfriend's wedding gets extended, but Don first chooses not to tell Joanna since he wants to attend alone. Joanna chooses to move out the Don house while he is gone. Joanna was given a difficult mission by Margaret to sell her first book, and she was successful. After selling the agency's first book, Joanna is given a more significant position. There, she gives up though because she wants to follow her ambition to becoming a writer.
Well, you're here.
I am.
We know you can type. Hooray. But have you ever used a dictaphone? At ease. It can be tricky at first, but I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. Play, rewind, and I think those control speed. Hugh can help. Hugh, you can get started with these. As you can see, we have a relaxed, cordial environment. We ask that you don't wear dungarees, sneakers, t-shirts, sweatshirts, especially the kind with hoods. No open-toed shoes, but it's perfectly fine to wear trousers if you're a woman, and no need to wear stockings in the summer. Bare legs are perfectly fine. And if Jerry calls, you just say, "Yes, Jerry. I will let my boss know."
Jerry Salinger.
Well, of course, Jerry Salinger. And above all, you never ever call him.
Why would I call Jerry Salinger?
Jerry doesn't want to hear about how much you love The Catcher in the Rye, and he doesn't want to read your stories.
I don't have stories.
Good. Writers make the worst assistants. Get to work.
In that video excerpt, few scenes related to workplace situation were chosen because of the negative critical incidents. As you guys can see, that video, it was Joanna's first day at work as a Margaret assistant. Besides that, Margaret introduced her to everyone and taught her how to use their equipment, particularly the dictaphone, as well as the rules to follow in her office. At the end of the video, Margaret also said something that hurt Joanna's feeling, even though she knows that was her goals. Based on that video excerpt, Joanna was being ignored by her new boss, which is Margaret. In that video, also shown negative behavior of Margaret, which is she smoked in front of her new employee. Moreover, Margaret had a stereotype about writers when she said writers make the worst assistants. From the scene, we can see that Margaret had a cold personality and does not like having writers as her assistants. Margaret shows unprofessional behavior because of the act of criticizing and sarcastic ways. The superior action will impact the employee performance, and the employee may be uncomfortable to working with that types of persons. Thus, good bosses just cannot judge or criticize employees' interest in something, and the employer need to treat all the employees fairly without discrimination.
He's challenging Jerry. It's a game, and you're falling for it.
I feel this boy just deserves a proper response, not our usual bullshit.
Bullshit? You are confusing judgment with empathy. I have read hundreds of letters just like this one. It can get overwhelming, but just do your job.
Did you send my letter to Mr. Salinger?
Did you send my letter to Salinger?
You have no right to keep my letter.
¿Mandaste mi carta, Salinger?
You can't read other people's mail.
I was at least expecting a confirmation.
An A earned by trickery means absolutely nothing. You'll soon find out that young women are often held to double standards when it comes to success. You need to prove to yourself and to your peers that you do not need special treatment.
Joanna gave a letter to Margaret, and Margaret told the child to oppose Jerry. Joanna gave her opinion to the boy and explained it to Margaret. Margaret told that Joanna was delusional with empathy after she read various types of letters sent to Mr. Salinger. Joanna had taken a typewriter machine from the storeroom and replied to the letter by her own judgment to the fine Salinger. For the negative incident too, the description is Joanna replies to the Mr. Salinger fan letter by her own judgment. She said to Margaret that the agency should stop replies the nonsense to Mr. Salinger's fan letter. The analysis is Joanna should not reply to the Mr. Salinger fan's letter based on her judgment about the letter. It is not within Joanna's right to respond to the letter in accordance with agency regulation. Based on this scene, the employee should not mix negative feelings in the workplace. The workers must be able to follow agency policy, and the effect is the worker's decision and quality as a worker are both impacted by negative emotions. So, its influence superior with regard to the worker's abilities and values. The recommendation is to maintain professionalism and influence the other employees to act professionally. An employee must stick the agency policy in all situations.
I knew you could do it. I knew it. Come with me. You! Stop doing what you're doing. Max, we're coming into your sanctum. I have an announcement to make.
What is it?
Joanna has sold a story I gave her this summer.
Congratulations.
Not surprised. Good job.
You're on your way.
Of course she is. I knew the moment you walked through the door that you were agency material. Now you can start to build your very own client list.
a most exciting feeling for an agent. Isn't that right, Max?
For once, I have to agree with Margaret, yes.
We will celebrate at lunch.
Hope you like martinis.
Oh, she'll learn to like them.
In that video excerpt, few scenes related to the workplace situation were chosen because of the positive critical incidents. As you guys can see in that video, Margaret, who is the Joanna superior, was very happy because Joanna was successful in selling a story for the company. Besides that, due to the overjoy, she asked everyone together to announce and celebrate Joanna's achievement. Based on the video excerpt, Margaret and others employees are proud of Joanna's accomplishment. They all congratulating and praising Joanna. All of them very happy on behalf of her. From the scene demonstrate that a positive work environment motivate everyone to do their best. The act of celebrating because of good achievement will make the employee feel more appreciated and motivated to work hard in the future. Due to that, that person will perceive a mutual beneficial relationship between their superior and themselves. For the recommendation, as a superior, they must appreciate their employees' effort, even though it is not giving any benefits to the company. Giving employees guidance and motivating them is sufficient. In addition, by giving them a reward, such as certificate, money, or presents are enough. By doing so, it will motivate others to keep working hard.
You sent a personal letter to one of the fans and she came storming in here? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Do you have any idea how many times when I was answering Salinger's letters I want to write my own one back?
Really?
Of course. Dear sir, obsess over another writer. I hear Kurt Vonnegut answers his own fan mail. I mean, sometimes you just want to go, hey, loser. and then others, they're so engaging. You just want to champion them, you know?
Yes, exactly.
But you've crossed the line. It's a huge rabbit hole, ethically and legally. I'm taking you off Salinger's mail.
No,
Yes.
Hugh, please. I love these letters so much. I promise you this won't happen again. I promise.
Joanna handed Huck a letter in which she confessed to hurting a Mr. Salinger admirer. Huck was astounded that Joanna had the courage to respond to the fan's letter. Every time he read a letter from Mr. Salinger fan, Huck said he became delighted and wanted to respond even for himself. Huck made Joanna feel better by praising her. However, he also informed that Joanna's use for Mr. Salinger fan's response was over the limit. Joanna acknowledged her wrong and promised never to repeat again. The positive incident too, Huck gave the compliments to Joanna instead upset with her action because replying Mr. Salinger fan letter. Huck also knew from the start of his feeling each time he read a letter from Mr. Salinger admirers. Huck perceived Joanna's desire to respond to the letters. The analysis is Huck acknowledged the emotion that Joanna is experiencing because he has had similar emotion every time he has read a fan letter by Mr. Salinger. But he also tells Joanna that what she did was wrong and wants to preserve her name among her colleagues. Based on the communication theory, interpersonal skills are important for communicating and working with group individuals in your personal and professional life. People with strong interpersonal skills tend to build good relationships and can work well with others. They understand family, friends, co-workers, and clients well. People often enjoy working with colleagues who have good interpersonal skills. By Indeed 2021. Interpersonal communication is about exchanging information face-to-face via expression, voice, gesture, and body language between two people. The effect is openly admitting the mistake and promise not to repeat it again. Second, be able to take criticism from superior without feeling uneasy and bashful. The recommendation is for the employees to communicate effectively and for organization to have strong relationship, respect and consideration are necessary. In the conclusion, first, in the workplace there will be many problems we must overcome and we must have trust that there is always a way out. Second, to keep our job as an employee, we must follow by all workplace regulations. Third, we must always conduct ourselves professionally even if we are their superior. Thank you.